Nothing amazing ever happens around here.
Except for end of the year Fooly Cooley Season 1 Marathon.
Saturday from midnight till 3 a.m.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Welcome back to Owls Only, an Adult Swim podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Hope, and I'm not a child anymore. I'm an adult, and I can buy my own insurance and everything. I'm here with my co-host, Alex.
Hi, that's me.
You got a quote?
I don't, but that was a good one, though. That was good.
And we have a very special guest today. We have our good friend, Grayson.
What's poppin', y'all?
And today we are talking about Cleveland Show Season 1. Yep. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about Fooly Cooley.
Oh, God. We should have gone for like 5 minutes at least.
Yeah, just 5 minutes just talking about the fucking Cleveland Show.
Show I've never seen before.
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen the Cleveland Show. It's fucking uncultured freak.
All right, go
on. So we're talking about Fooly Cooley. This is like... Cowboy Bebop is the Adult Swim anime. It's like the Adult Swim original anime. But this one is truly like the real first like Adult Swim original because like it's a 6-episode OVA. And do you know what OVAs are, Alex?
You told me those are the ones that they would just put on VHSs.
Yeah. They put like one episode on VHS and then people would just like pay like out the ass for it. And then they would just like rewatch it over and over and over again.
Was this like 90s when they would do this shit?
Yeah, I mean, how long do they do OVAs for? Do you think, like in general, like the industry? You're the anime expert here.
Definitely, the three of us.
I think they still do. They still make OVAs?
I feel like they don't need to anymore, right? Because they have Crunchyroll and stuff. You can just put shit out on that.
Because there's stuff that's still like they still make animated that doesn't air on like TV.
Yeah,
which is like that's
True.
Anything that doesn't air on TV is like an OVA.
What does OVA stand for?
Original video animation.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so this was an OVA, and this is one of those shows that they brought over to Adult Swim in like the early 2000s. This started airing in like, I think it was like August 15th, 2003. So it does take a little bit for this to come to the block. Like I think this is after like a bunch of other like worse bullshit like Pilot Candidate or whatever. But so it takes a while for this to come to the block. But this is like a huge show for Adult Swim. Like this show has influenced like so much of what like modern animation is, especially for like millennials and stuff. This is like a huge influence on like the like millennial generation, and like all of them saw it because they would just play it constantly on Adult Swim.
Well, you were saying that this inspired like Steven Universe and all that, right?
I mean, it didn't inspire,
but like those artists cite Fooly Cooley as
like
their like awakening.
At the end of episode 4 of Fooly Cooley, when Naota hits like the satellite coming back towards Earth with the guitar, and it like when he swings the bat and like it fucking spins on the guitar before it flies away. They do that in like Steven Universe and like in the baseball episode. But
I didn't pick that up at all. Sorry.
Yeah. So there are Adult Swim like gets the rights to this. They aired the shit out of it. Like this is a huge show for them in the 2000s. People love it. And then in 2018 they make 2 sequels, Fooly Cooley Progressive and Fooly Cooley Alternative. Have you guys seen anything from those?
No. You said
I just heard that they're dog shit.
You said that they're like You said that they're like completely different, right?
They're different, but I think they're fine. Like, people say they're dog shit. I watched them both, and I think they're 100% fine. Like, this is such a masterpiece that I think anything any kind of sequel to it, people would say that it's bad.
Yeah,
but
I agree. It's also they don't take it in a direction where you can like do anything with it with the same characters.
What they do is like Haruko comes back with a new cast of characters every season, and it's just like Haruko in this world, but like with new people every season. And I think the first one kind of sucks. The second one is a lot better. I think the second sequel. The second sequel, fucking spoilers for Fooly Cooley Progressive here, but I don't think anybody really gives a shit about the Fooly Cooley sequel, so it doesn't matter. Fooly Cooley. I think Progressive is the third one. It builds like the entire 6-episode thing builds up to a fucking Quagmire Brian dinner.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Can we just watch that episode after this?
Yeah. like it's like about like a group. They actually do. That's the more interesting one because it's about like a group of like friends who are like girls. And the main one, like the main girl in that season has like huge like main character syndrome. And at the end of the season, her like best friend is just like, "You're a fucking asshole." Like she literally takes her out for a Quagmire Brian dinner.
That's actually cool though.
That's
I might
hilarious.
actually watch that.
I love that for her.
Yeah, I might actually watch that.
Grayson, do you want to explain what a Quagmire Brian dinner is?
You're just a big alcoholic bore.
So
Where you just sit your friend down and then you just tell them that they're fucking sacks of shit and then you pee in their mouths.
yeah, that's essentially it. The Quagmire Brian dinner is from that fucking Family Guy episode that we always talk about. Whereas I have no idea what that episode is about outside of like that
It's about the
clip.
Brian and Quagmire dinner.
It's just like it's such a commonly used phrase between the three of us, like Quagmire Brian dinner, that when someone says it, you know exactly like you know exactly what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
we have like events in our personal lives that we'll refer to as like Quagmire Brian dinner.
Yeah, like Quagmire Brian dinners. It's such like a it's so funny. But yeah, so this I've kind of realized with Fooly Cooly and Bebop being my two favorite anime that I have like a type for anime where it's like they're short, perfect, entirely like vibe based shows.
Yeah, very stylized.
Yeah, because like Bebop and Fooly Cooly, they both definitely have plot and they have like a lot to say, but they're also like so based on like their music and like their style.
Yeah, and their feel.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised I like this as much as I did because the anime I watch is like My Hero and Bleach, which
Yeah.
is like, I mean, they're good, but they're like definitely not like
There's shows with nothing to
yeah,
say.
they're shonens. They're like Cassie, my girlfriend. We started watching Bleach, and she likes to like analyze shows and stuff because it's fun. And I kind of said to her, I was like, we can analyze Bleach, but there's no point to it.
Yeah, like,
it means nothing. Like,
Yeah,
characters.
it's just fight power up.
Yeah, there's nothing to analyze. Like characters will walk around and say, "I act this way because of this." Like there's nothing to read into.
Yeah. This show is like almost this show does kind of the opposite of that where they don't spoon feed you anything to the point that it feels like
Yeah,
incomprehensible.
like you have to go on Reddit to figure
Yeah,
out what the fuck it's about.
It's like harder to follow than fucking Ava is.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I'm surprised I like it so much because it's the exact
and Ava's
opposite of the
fucking
stuff I
hard
usually
to
watch.
follow, brother.
Yeah. Like there's really good AV Club articles that cover everything and I normally when I watch Fooly Cooly, Fooly Cooly is one of those things, kind of like 12 Ounce of Mouse, where every time you watch it, you understand it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, to bring it back to Family Guy, it's like...
We do that a lot, Grayson.
Yeah, we're bringing back to Family Guy, our
enough.
second favorite show on this podcast. It's like when Cleveland talks about fucking Monopoly. It's like you don't win, you just do a little better each time. That is literally how like it is watching Fooly Cooly and stuff. Because like you every single time I watch it, I understand it like a little bit more.
I've seen it twice now. I did not pay attention the first time.
Yeah.
This time, I noticed
What were you doing the first time, Alex?
nothing. I was nothing. I was sober as hell. That's what I was doing the first time.
Being sober as hell.
Being sober as hell, I promise.
We're all over 21.
So, I actually got into this very, very recently because on April Fool's this year, not April Fool's, on New Year's Eve this year, they did a Fooly Cooly marathon, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to actually watch Fooly Cooly this time.
Cool that they still show it.
They show it all the time.
That's cool.
'Cause
I've never seen it. Like I had never even saw it on the lineup from what I remember.
the guy who runs Toonami, Jason DeMarco, this is like his favorite fucking show ever, and so he'll just play it constantly.
That's cool though.
Yeah, but that's why he
funny.
makes two more. He must make two sequels, and there's two more coming out this year. Like,
Oh, really?
Fooly Cooly Grunge and Fooly Cooly Shoegaze are the two.
Holy shit! I'll watch Fooly Cooly Shoegaze. I
are
love
the two
Shoegaze.
sequels coming out this year. They released a teaser or like a
You
kind
love
of
grunge, Alex. Shut up.
like a concept teaser for Fooly Cooly Grunge, and it's like. It looks like they're doing like the CGI type thing, which is weird. I'm not sure if I like
Have
that
you
or
seen
not.
Have you seen the new way that the new Trigun?
Yes,
That show
We
looks
need to finish
insane, dude.
Trigun. I was gonna say to you while we were watching this, I was like, you and I need
The
to
new
finish
Trigun
Trigun.
looks freaking epic.
I'm not seeing nothing from it.
it kind of looks like the new Trigun in a way. It just like, which is I think that anime, that like type of anime is like a great style. but I do prefer kind of like the normal like 2D like cell animated stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I don't
Fooly looks amazing.
I don't
Yes.
like CGI anime.
This show is
You have to do it in a certain way in order to. It has to be just stylized enough for me to like. Okay, that's cool. If it's just
Absolutely.
like normal CGI, like just throw money at it and make it look nice.
Well, to bring it to go back to Bleach, because that's the only anime I've been watching. That I didn't realize how stylized that show was growing up. Like I know I was talking to Bryce about this over text. Like there are scenes that will just be completely washed out with like a ton of light, but
Yeah.
they do it frequently enough to where it's clearly on purpose.
yeah.
But I feel like you don't really get that with the CG. It all kind of looks the same.
Yeah, there's you have to do it in a certain way, but this show is fucking beautiful. Like one of the shots that stuck out to me this time was which character gets the water gun? Is it Nina Mori? Yeah, Nina
Yeah,
Mori.
the
Nina Mori
The
gets
purple
water
hair, the
gun.
purple hair girl,
Yeah, Nina Mori.
the purple hair like kid.
Yeah, she gets the water gun and she like holds it up and
Yeah, I noticed that scene too. I
when
like
it
that
was
still.
shown on her face.
no, when she like holds it up and you kind of like see the sun behind it.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good shot.
This entire show is just like full of that. It's like the show is one of those shows like Cowboy Bebop or like the Venture Brothers where like every single background would be like something you want to frame in your house. It's fucking beautiful.
It was
show.
very pretty. It was a very pretty show. All of the shots with the I don't know what they actually call the fucking iron, but
Yeah,
they're like all of the shots
iron.
with all the shots of the iron and the stone hand. Those are great.
Those are great. So we can
Oh yeah, okay.
try to. Oh yeah. Also, something I want to do before we really get into the plot is I want to talk about the Adult Swim April Fool's Day prank this year. Do you know anything? I know I told you about it. Do you know?
Yeah, I didn't see it though.
Do you know anything about it, Grayson? So they started off and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna let AI run the network," and then they did
Oh
it.
no, ChatGPT on the network.
It was like 2 minutes of like AI generated smiling friends, and then they were like, "We're not doing that," and they just did. Then they did fast forwards where they showed the first half of the first episode of Royal Crackers. Great show, by the way. They've dropped 3 episodes so far. I really like Royal Crackers. Check it out. So they dropped.
You did end up liking it?
Yeah, I didn't. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Royal Crackers, and then they showed like the first 5 minutes of season 6 of Eric Andre, and then they showed the first 5 minutes of some episode of Teenage Euthanasia season 2.
Nice.
And then they were like, okay, we're going backwards now. They showed all of the Fire Ant episode of Space Ghost where he follows around the Fire Ant for 11 minutes across all the like Hanna-Barbera backgrounds and stuff, which was great. Then they decided they were going to air just commercials. So
Just commercial.
well, that's what they said, but they aired like unedited footage of a bear
Oh, okay.
and Broom Shakalaka, one of the first infomercials, and it was also directed by the Daniels, which directed Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've definitely not seen Broom Shakalaka. I've seen unedited footage before though.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of Royal Crackers promos in between that, and then they ended the night out with a new episode of Ambient Swim called I think it's just called Trains, and it was just like they put a camera on like top of like the front view of a train and just went through like the entire like Norwegian countryside. It was
Oh, that's
fucking
sick. Yeah,
beautiful.
that sounds
what-
sick.
Yeah.
It was fucking beautiful. Like it was a great prank. I loved it. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way before we try to really like get into the plot here.
Did you do your Anadom recap?
There hasn't been Anadom in a couple weeks.
Okay,
It's all
never
just
mind.
been single episodes of Housebroken.
Never even heard of that.
Housebroken is a show that I thought I wouldn't like, but I actually kind of like a fair bit. It's about like pets in a therapy group, and it has just like every actor in it. Like,
Oh, that actually, yeah, that sounds
do you know?
like an interesting premise.
Obviously,
at
you know
least.
this. Who's the girl from Friends that's in BoJack? She plays the owl in BoJack.
Fuck, dude. I actually
Lisa Kudrow.
Is it
Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah,
Lisa Kudrow is like the main character in that show, and like Tony Hale
Don't pull
from
my
Arrested
friends
Development.
card out, dude.
Tony Hale from Arrested Development is all over it. Everybody's in that fucking show. It's a good show. But yeah, so Fully Cooley is it's so hard to even get into like what this show's about.
It's
like
it's about what you need it to be about.
yeah, so I
It's,
mean
it's about nothing, but also so much.
I feel like it's about a lot. You sent me a Reddit post once, and it was
Yeah.
about how complicated puberty is, basically, right?
Yeah, that's sort of like that's the big interpretation everyone has of it, is that it's about puberty, which it definitely is.
Watching it
without any background, if the only background you like go into the show with is like, oh, it's about puberty, it makes way more sense than if you know like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's jarring at times. I mean, I only watched.
It's very jarring.
I watched episode like 5 and 6, and it. You're probably better to explain what the show's actually about, but there's some scenes in it that are like so just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's very jarring. I've heard some people compare it to just like a music video, which I do kind of like, especially because like the whole show, I can't believe we're 15 minutes in, we haven't talked about it yet. The whole show is based on the music of a Japanese band called The Pillows. And
we've been listening to their music for like 5 months every time we drive around.
Yeah, every time I have like friends in the car, I'm just putting on like the Fooly Cooly soundtrack because it's so fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And especially like now we're getting into spring and like summer, because this, even though they say in like episode 2 or 3 that it takes place in October, this feels like a summer show to me. You know,
I get that.
Like, do you get that?
Yeah, I get that.
Like,
I get the vibes.
It's also, the music's good to drive around with the windows down.
Yes.
Which is where I think you were going with that.
It's a very like spring and summer vibe show, and I think the music really adds a lot to it. But so the Pillows come back and they make music for like the 2 sequels, but for this one they're like, we're not making fucking music for you. You can just have whatever like music like. They didn't want to be a part of this, like, you know, fucking anime, but obviously, like...
Wait, which season?
The first one.
Okay.
Like, the Pillows didn't want to be part of, like, this fucking anime, but...
Why would they have not wanted to be a part of this anime?
Just because. Then, like, people, like, really fell in love with them through this anime, so they came back in music.
Because to be honest, most anime is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, so like The Pillows is the backbone of this entire show. Like almost every scene is set to a Pillow song. There is one scene that they don't do that in. It's the climax of episode 3, because like something they do is very interesting. Is episode 3 is that episode 3 is all about Nina Mori, who is one of the best characters in this show. I think it's about like Nina Mori and Nina Mori's parents. Like her dad is cheating on her mom with like his secretary. And she's kind of like Naota, because Naota's whole thing in this show is that he puts on like a very like stoic demeanor because he wants to seem like an adult, and he has like no real good like role models in his life because his brother left him to go play like baseball and
his dad's a
America.
freak.
yeah, his dad's a horny fuck.
His dad, I don't know, have either of you guys seen Clone High?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh god, his dad really reminds me of, like, in certain scenes, dad reminds me of fucking Scudworth from Clone High as the principal, and someone listening to this is gonna laugh about that. But
the dad, it really, he's like Ichigo's dad if he was a fucking perv. Have you seen any of Bleach?
No.
Yeah, he I kept thinking that too.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Ichigo's dad is like Cassie asked me, she was like, are you supposed to get the vibe that he's like a bad dad? And I was like, you're not supposed to get the vibe he's a bad dad. You're supposed to get the vibe that he's like fundamentally unserious.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what
come on, I think
Naota's dad reminded me of.
Is his name Come On?
Yeah.
It's like that if he was also like really horny.
Yeah, he's just a freak. He's a pervert, possibly a pedophile, because there's this really fucked up scene in Nina Mori's episode where she's like staying with them because she like conspires with Kamon to she like conspires with him to have this story published in the newspaper about her parents' like affair. So because she doesn't want to like deal with it essentially, and so she's like staying with them overnight, and he's like talking to her. And while she's like in the fucking shower, and she's like obviously like covering herself up.
Yeah, like the window is open and he's like talking from his window.
Yeah,
to the bathroom.
And he like hands her like this soap thing, but like the way he hands it to her, she has to like move her arm to grab it. It's so creepy.
Oh yeah, I do remember this now.
He's such a fucking freak. He's so awful. And then also he just wants to like, Naota's dad just wants to fuck Haruko all the time, which is also like a huge source of conflict.
And he gets jealous
Yeah.
that she likes
The
Naota.
entire 5th episode was just them fighting over her, right?
Yeah, the 5th episode when Naota's dad puts on a fucking Nazi suit.
Yes, with a swastika and everything.
Yeah, like when I saw the swastika, I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" I next time they air it on Adult Swim, I'm gonna check and see if they actually like keep the fucking swastika in there, because I'd be like genuinely surprised if they did, because that's fucking crazy. Like I was like, oh my god, like he was just straight up in an SS uniform.
Yeah, with a like complete swastika. I think it was backwards. I think the swastika was backwards, but that doesn't make it any better.
Our friend Cameron is watching through The Walking Dead season 1, and I totally forgot this. Do you remember that apparently Merle had like fucking like SS shit on his motorcycle?
No, but I remember everything else about Merle.
Oh, that is fucked. It's fucked.
I've never seen a single episode of The Walking Dead.
You're not missing much. The first season,
First
is,
3.
the first season is like genuinely great TV. The second one,
Isn't it like 15 seasons?
there's
but
11. but
only
they're
4.
awful.
Only Bryce, you'll say 5. Only 4 of them are worth watching. In my
I'd say
opinion.
5. There's when they first get to Alexandria, it's really worth watching. But yeah, you're not missing anything.
We've done this exact conversation before on
Yeah,
this.
we talk about The Walking Dead and how much we hate it a lot. There's a whole episode I keep on forgetting to drop about us just shitting on The Walking Dead for an hour.
You haven't dropped that?
No.
Drop it.
It's a good one, but it's because we do the Robot Chicken Walking Dead special.
And we just shit on The Walking Dead the entire
Yeah,
time.
we talk about Robot Chicken for like 2 minutes.
and then
The
we
rest
talk
of
about
us-
our severe disappointment with how the show ended.
Yeah, and then we just talk about.
Oh, is it over?
The
Oh,
Walking
yeah.
Dead. The
Well,
Walking
it's
Dead ended.
Oh,
over.
I thought you meant Robot Chicken.
It's over,
Well,
but
we don't know if Robot Chicken's over or not.
The Walking Dead's over, but it's over in the way that it made the entire show feel like an advertisement for all the spinoffs.
Yeah,
Like
which
the
is
Wa-
The
really
Walking
fucking
Dead
annoying.
type-y? Yeah.
No, there's like a Maggie and Negan spinoff.
There's a Rick
Ew.
spinoff, Rick and Michonne spinoff.
We're gonna
Like,
watch
every-
that. We're gonna watch that.
Yeah, of course. Every single character, every single major character in The Walking Dead
Either dies or
gets their own
gets a
spinoff. Like the show doesn't end. It splits into 4 smaller shows.
Yeah, they like. Oh, it's
Ew.
so bad. Anyways,
It's like
I hate that. I hate that
it's
so
like
much.
it's like fucking Dark Side of the Moon. It just hits the end, the series finale, just splits into.
Bryce
a
and
bunch
I
of different
watched it
shows.
with no context after missing like 2 seasons, and we were just like, "Yeah,
This sucks.
Yeah, we
We're just
like didn't
this
finish
fucking
it.
Sucks.
They did a cool thing with the commercials though. They had earlier cast members come back in zombie makeup because they
That was
died.
yeah,
that was
kinda
cool.
All right,
All right, yeah, we'll move on. I don't want to talk about The Walking
Fuck
Dead.
The Walking Dead, bad show. So it's about like Naota and so like we haven't even talked about Haruko that much, but like Haruko, who's this like she kind of comes off as you think she's gonna be like, you know, anime like manic pixie dream girl.
She's
type
awful.
Beat.
She's a demon sent
And
from
she's-
hell.
And
She's an alien mommy, yo.
she's kind of just like Bugs Bunny.
That's actually really
She's a
apt.
Looney Tune,
That's
yeah,
really
you're
apt.
right.
She's like Bugs Bunny, and she's like if Spinell was more emotionally adjusted.
That's like yes, no, that's perfect.
Because I mean Haruko does crazy shit all the time, but Haruko is actually like remarkably emotionally stable. If you notice that,
she's like a sociopath. though.
yeah, she is a
she's
full on
insane.
she's a full on sociopath. Like she has full control of her emotions the entire time.
They write it well because it's to the point where I could see it being upsetting if you
Yeah.
experienced that growing up.
One of like my favorite scenes
I didn't even think about that.
is
No,
in-
this show is like this show could be insanely triggering if the wrong person watches it.
this there's an amazing scene in the 6th episode where like because Haruko and Kanti, Kanti is like the robot that comes out of Naota's head in the first episode that just like lives with them.
Yeah.
Haruko and Kanti, after Kanti like successfully is able to like truly channel like Atomisk's power, they run away and they're gone for like a couple weeks, I think, and they come back.
Haruko and Nata, right?
Haruto and Kanti,
Oh, okay.
and then they come back.
Yeah, that's when Naota cries
Yeah.
that she left.
Oh, I got yes. I
Yeah,
got it.
and it's so heartbreaking because you never know what happened to Haruko's mom, and because like I mean not Haruko, Naruto's mom, because they never mention it, and like he had a positive relationship with his brother, but we never see his brother because he's off in America playing baseball.
Yeah.
And his father is a piece of shit, and his granddad is just the granddad's just fucking Stan's grandpa from South Park.
Yeah.
And so he has like no positive role models in his life, and like he just like unloads everything into just like sobbing into Haruko's arms.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, like, you can tell on her, you can't even read the expression on her face, and she just looks so blank.
It's a show about a kid who gets groomed.
Yeah,
Essentially,
it is like,
but actually groomed.
it's but we can get into what Haruko's goals are here, because I feel like a lot of these characters do like horrible shit to Naota, but they all have their weird specific set of goals. like Haruko, I mean, Haruko does grow to genuinely at least like Naruto a little bit. Like, she likes him more than like his creepy dad or Commander Amuro, the guy with the eyebrows. Like, she likes him more than those people. But
that's because he's the most useful to her, though. She like explicitly says that.
Yes, but also I feel like there is some sort of connection between them.
Fair enough, but mostly, yeah. I think it just wouldn't be much of a show without it. So I agree.
Yeah, but she like. So she wants to gain the powers of the Pirate King Atomisk, who's like this being, kind of like this cosmic, like Marvel type being that has enough NO, which is like this energy channel that can pull, let's like create portals in your head. I think you can pull robots out of.
Yeah. Kind of matter.
There's gonna be somebody like a massive Fooly Cooly fan who listens to this and is gonna fucking crucify me for this. But it's like it doesn't really matter. It's about the characters.
Yeah, we're talking about the characters.
But she wants
space powers.
Yeah, she wants
space powers.
She wants Atomisk's power, and Naota is a way to get to that power because he can like pull like powerful robots out of his head,
but only when he's like stressed, right?
It's I think there's a lot of like sexual repression and like sexual frustration to it. I think
we're not stressed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the biggest interpretations of it is that like two of the biggest interpretations of it is that like it's sexual frustration and also like challenges to like masculinity that will bring out like open up the NO channels. And so Haruko, just by like constantly just fucking like, you know, doing all this like fucking sexual shit to this kid is like gaining more power through that. But what I think is so interesting about this show is all these different elements. Like the story is, and pretty much like could only just be like, okay, you have Haruko, you have Amuro, and you have Naota, who's caught in the middle, and it's just like the struggle between those three characters, and it could easily be that. But they spend so much time with like Ninamori and Mamimi, who have their own.
I don't think we've said Mamimi's name.
We have not said Mamimi at all. Like Mamimi is
she's like a major character too. Yeah, she's like a major in character.
She's like a main character. She's like one of the main characters. Like she's
probably my favorite character.
I love it. Yeah, she's great. There's 4. This is the most fucking dumbass like soy boy way to like count character importance. But there's like 4 Fooly Cooly Funko Pops, and it's like Haruko, Kanti, Naota, Mamimi. She's like one of like the main like characters.
Oh yeah, no, I like her. She's a good character.
But Mamimi she's her big episode is episode 2 called Firestarter, where
smokes cigarettes and she's sad.
Yeah, she smokes cigarettes. She's kind of like homeless, where she lives by like a river, and she's like in second episode she's always going around like starting fires, which is crazy, and she it's kind of implied that she might have burned down her elementary school, and that Naoto's brother Tatsuka.
I think it's Tatsuko.
Yeah. Well, someone's gonna fucking be so mad about that. I'm gonna say Naoto's brother. Naoto's brother, like saves her. I think.
I thought it was implied that that the burning down of the school like is what triggered her to start burning stuff. I thought that's what it was implied. This school burned down.
That makes more sense.
That can make my pains go away. I'm going to burn stuff down. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, because
she's like fucked up.
Yeah, she meets Naoto's brother through that fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she had like a very traumatic incident where she met someone very important to her. So now she's like, I'm going to just start fires and see if something else happens.
The two together.
Yeah. Because Mamimi's entire character in Fooly Cooly is just like she just got like completely abandoned by the one person that she felt like a true connection with, and he completely doesn't give a fuck about her. Like in the first episode,
well, that's like Naota's and Haruko's relationship.
Kinda, yeah. That's a good point.
They're like foils. Is that the word?
Yeah. Like his brother in the first episode is about Naota trying to figure out a way to tell Mamimi that he got a letter from his brother saying that he has like a girlfriend in America. Oh. So like he is like in her entire world is just about like trying to fill that void, which also is kind of what Naota's world is too, with the same void with his brother
like
not
foils.
there.
They're foils of each other, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But so like she's like obsessed with Naota, who she calls Takun, which Haruko also adopts that nickname.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I think she just adopts it because she hears Mamimi say it a lot. But so she's like obsessed with Naoto. She calls anything that she can make dependent on her Takun. So it starts off with Naoto where she's just like she's like, I think what she's doing is probably worse than what Haruko's doing.
Are you sure?
I don't. What do you think?
Haruko's doing some pretty nasty shit, dude.
Well, Haruko's doing it of more of a like.
She's doing it for they're both selfish, but
Haruko is an alien. Is my thing.
Fair enough. I feel like you're supposed to analyze it through the actions, though, not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know, but she's just like she's doing the same shit. She's doing like essentially the same shit that Haruko's doing, but like not. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's not as bad. She doesn't do.
I think there's supposed
Haruko's
to be
doing it to like steal cosmic powers.
I think it's supposed to be like two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
Like Haruko's doing it for power, and like Mamimi is doing it for like comfort.
Yeah.
And like dependence.
Well, it also could be.
Yeah, absolutely.
What also could be given given Mamimi and Naoto's similarities in their situation, it could be like different examples of how people can deal with it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because like Haruko is doing it for control. Like she wants to control. Mamimi is doing it to feel like
anything.
Yeah, Mamimi's doing it to fill like a void.
Yeah,
which was created by the brother abandoning her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's
and
supposed
her being homeless and all that.
I think it's supposed to be what Naoto could become.
Yeah, I like that. I do like how Mamimi does kind of get like a decent ending at the end because she figures out her purpose in life is to be a photographer.
Yeah.
I just made the stupidest connection, but it's almost kind of like how the Smiling Friends pilot ends with the Red Letter Media guy Desmond. He just fucking shoots like the little pest and realizes his purpose in life.
But you're right.
It's just to kill pests.
You're right.
And that's what Mamimi does.
Mamimi gets what we all want. She got to go do her thing and fuck off.
Yeah,
and everybody she doesn't care about doesn't think about her anymore.
But yeah, so Mamimi, great character, but like she so like, and if this was like a purely plot-based show, she would not be in it. But I think this show spends so much time on like its characters that she's like essential.
The concept, yeah.
Yeah. I also what I like about this show is that its insistence to fit anything that's not like it changes the rules constantly. And it fits anything that's not doesn't mean to fit in there. They find a way to get it in there.
For a show about puberty, I think it's essential that she's there because when you're like going through puberty and you have like an older sibling that has like a hot girlfriend, you're like, oh God, how do I deal with this?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that another thing is just in a more broad sense, the show's about how like traumatizing puberty can be.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And like your parents
and everything
your
is like
parents
a trigger.
Your parents like ostensibly understand what you're going through, but they haven't been through puberty in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is you're just surrounded by your peers. And some of your peers can be really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like Haruko and Mamimi to an extent.
And everyone experiences it differently, so
exactly.
you don't really know what someone's going through when they're going through puberty.
I can't remember the purple hair girl's name, but she has her own shit go. Yeah, she has her own shit going on with her parents. Yeah, I think it's about how that age can be incredibly traumatizing and the type of it can turn you into a different.
Well,
type of
when they're in
person.
the car and she's talking to the secretary and she's like, "Oh, you wouldn't ruin that."
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it can turn. It's about how the experiences you go through when you're in puberty shape who you are after puberty, which is like duh, but like you know what I mean. Like that's what the show's about.
Yeah,
I think
Nina Mori is such a good character. I think episode 3 might be my favorite episode. It's because that's the one. Yeah, like it's like they just kind of shift perspective to her for a reason, and she's a great character. I don't know how she fits into all this as well as but like I don't know how she fits into the story as much as the other two do, but I feel like she's just such an essential character too.
I think it's to I think part of the reason is like they want to change it to like a girl that's now because age like going through puberty,
girl's perspective.
Going through puberty.
You talking about progressive or whatever?
No, I'm talking about Nina Mori from the original series.
Oh, sorry.
Like they want to change it up to like, oh, girls also have like weird experiences when they're going through puberty.
Yeah,
that's what I think the show's fundamentally about. It's about
it's
about how everything's different, but it's also like unifying.
Yeah. But yeah, Nina Mori, great character. Also, another obviously we watched the dub, and because I'm a fucking idiot. I only watch dubbed anime if it's good. Like I only watch like dubbed anime, but I only watch it because I know that the dub is good. And like this is one of the great ones alongside Cowboy Bebop, which is like probably the best dub ever. Do you think, Grayson?
Probably.
There's some casting connections here. Nina Mori is voiced by Melissa Fawn, who also voices Radical Edward on Bebop and Dendy on OKKO. And
the Ava dub is pretty good too.
One of her...
Still need to see Ava.
Yeah, me too.
You're going to cry and die.
One of the friends is voiced by fucking Steve Bloom, which I noticed.
Steve Bloom's all over anime.
He's over everything. But Steve...
What else has he done?
He's Spike and also Tom.
He does a lot of Gundam. He did a lot of Gundam stuff back in the day too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a lot of Gundam OVAs.
He's also Tom from Toonami, like the little robot host.
Oh, okay. That's definitely the one I know him from then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also... fucking, oh my god, what is the actress who plays Haruko's name? It's Kari Walgren. Kari Walgren is in fucking everything.
Yeah, her voice is super familiar.
I believe you mentioned that the first time we watched it.
Yeah, Kari Walgren, this is like an embarrassing reference, but she's Jessica on Rick and Morty.
Okay.
She's in Symbiotic Titan, I think. She's in literally like so many fucking shows. Yeah. It's crazy how many shows she's in. I'm just going through like casting connections, but one of the sequels has fucking Michael Sinter Nicholas, Dean Venture in it, which is interesting.
That's cool
because he's like an anime like guy. He's like an anime like casting agent or something. So he's in one of the sequels. Yeah. So
that smack came through the microphone, dude.
So there's just so much to talk about, and also there's so much that you don't notice until like multiple rewatches. Like Haruko's kind of got like that bracelet that kind of like clinks.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It clinks when like Atomisk is nearby.
Yeah, I almost said Tonsk. Atomisk. Yeah.
And there's also one thing I did not notice is that when she's talking to like the old cat that has like the fucking giant nuts. She's talking to like her superiors.
Yeah,
like,
I noticed that.
Can't
was
say
episode 5 or
giant
episode
nuts
6.
when I'm yawning, dude.
The episode that she comes back and
when her ass was out,
Naruto walks in. Yeah, Naruto walks in and
scene's fucking disturbing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
No, the most disturbing scene is when Naruto walks in and like the robot version of the dad is like giving her a massage with his fucking chin. And you like as he's walking into the room, you just hear like visceral moaning.
Word.
Yeah, it's like that's the episode. Like this show is full of a lot of like really like sexual stuff, but like episode 4 is the one you have to watch like on fucking like 2% volume because it just
it's like moaning like half the episode.
Like yeah, like so much of the episode just
I don't remember
like
that
porn.
one. I don't remember that one.
That's the one.
It's like they're like really into it. Like the voice actors sound like they're having sex.
I think I remember that. I don't remember actually watching it. Though.
That's the episode where they play baseball. But so Haruko wants to get more power from Naota, and so she wants to like fuck around with Naota's dad in order to like activate the NO channel and get more power from him. But she thinks his dad is so fucking repulsive that she doesn't want to actually be sexual with him. So she creates like a robot of his dad, and then she like turns the real dad into like this fucking dehydrated
corpse. Yeah, it's fucking crazy
little freak.
I think I remember that.
And like shoves him in like a cabinet.
Yeah, a big thing about this show too is that it really does run on dream logic.
Yeah, there's like no rules.
Like when like
I think it's better that way.
I like it.
Oh, I agree. I like shows
because like for someone who's going through like puberty like that, like stuff can seem crazy.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like they rehydrate his dad by placing him in like a bathtub.
Don't they? There's a scene in Nina Mori's episode where she's like staring at the water, and Naruto's like staring at her, and then you just see like blood like dripping into the water. No, it's not Nina Mori. It's Mamimi. She's like standing over the river.
Yeah,
with her dress up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh god,
so much.
It's about puberty. It's about periods.
Well, right, of course.
It's about
I just don't remember that episode.
I see.
It's like one frame where like blood drips into the water.
That's the thing about Fully Cooley is that like don't remember that scene at fucking all, and I've probably watched this like 6 times.
Yeah.
Like I've watched it so many times since January 1st when I watched it the first time, and like you catch so many things like that with every single rewatch.
It's good. That's why you can rewatch it.
Yeah, that's also like part of the reason why it's a and why it's like a I almost said why it's an NO. It's an OVA because they want to pack because you pay so much for it. They pack so much shit in there. You can just like constantly rewatch
animated beautifully.
Yeah. Nina Mori's episode also is one of the only ones. It's like that's the only episode that doesn't have a pillow song in it. Oh, yeah, I mean, it has the only episode. The climax doesn't have a pillow song in it.
Is it another song or
it's like classical music?
Okay.
Which is I think it's interesting too.
Probably
because,
stylistic.
Yeah, it definitely is because I think it's it kind of shows that that like shows like the shift of perspective to not have it be like a pillow song.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
I can really appreciate the show for what it is. I mean, it's I call everything artsy, but like it's pretty. It's like
This
it's
is
pretty
very
artsy.
artsy.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
made
like.
by the same studio that made Ava.
I
And
like
then
artsy stuff.
It's Gynax, and then they transferred over to Studio Trigger, and all of their shows look like that.
I'm
And, like,
famously
they move like that.
I'm famously not a pretentious person, so I
That is
they
absolutely
both just made the nastiest fucking faces I've ever seen them make.
Like instantly at the same time.
No, I'm famously not pretentious at all. But no, I actually really enjoyed this. It was very artsy and good.
You're the most pretentious person.
I know that's the fucking show.
But yeah, no, this is a very artsy show, and this is also kind of like the magic of like early 2000s Adult Swim, where like because they really could just do whatever the fuck they wanted to on TV, and so this is part
awesome.
of this is part of that, bringing over shows like Fooly Cooly that are like so they're so like they're not shonen-y. Like I mean, they obviously have like their Inuyasha and stuff on the block, which is just nothing bad.
I mean, Bleach. They had Bleach on the block. That's just straight up a shonen.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's a mixture of both. Like they have their shonen on the block, but they're allowed to also have.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they're allowed to also have like Fooly Cooly and stuff like that on there. It's really cool.
I know you don't pronounce it Lupin. What the? My mic just cut out. They had Lupin on the block for a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm sure
That's not a shonen
Lupin
though, is it?
the third.
They've had literally
No, it's not
almost
shonen.
any fucking anime you can think of. Like I'm
They
like
had JoJo for a bit, didn't they?
yes, they had JoJo, but pretty sure they still
Yeah,
have JoJo.
they aired
They have one.
No,
Piece.
they don't have because Netflix has JoJo.
Oh yeah, fucking Netflix.
They aired part 4 and part 5 on Adult Swim for JoJo.
They also like they have like One Piece. They have like obviously like
I've
every
never seen a single episode of One
they have
Piece.
every fucking Dragon Ball, Naruto bullshit. They also have
You remember when they aired they aired like a couple Batman the Batman animated movies, The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight, and people were pissed. Like, this is my anime Saturday night vlog.
oh, I want to get into
That would have been me when I was like 13.
Because he
I would have been like,
FaceTimed
I
me
want to watch my Bleach.
And he was like, dude, I'm watching Dark Knight on the Toonami blog.
well, because that's
wanna
what
get into that.
That's what got me watching Adult Swim. Even before Family Guy, I would watch Bleach on Adult Swim on Saturdays as like a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Like a huge part of Adult Swim, I think, because we talked about, 2 weeks ago episode is Gamiseru with Max, and that is obviously like one huge anime parody. And there's also like so many anime parodies on Adult Swim, like, not even parodies. Like Ballmasters 9009 is not a parody. It's just kind of like an anime, but like
An
11
amalgamation.
Adult Swim has a
of a
lot
bunch
of
of anime.
those, a lot of anime parodies that
Because like
just
a lot of
aren't
people who are like
parodies.
into animation and want to be animators like look at anime because they're allowed to do like whatever
Oh,
they
yeah,
want when
yeah,
it
yeah.
comes to anime.
There's also, there's Perfect Hair Forever. There's also like there's also like Boondocks and
Well, Boondocks is mostly just the art style, isn't it?
yeah, but still like there's a lot of inspiration from anime in there, like Boondocks and like Black Dynamite and stuff like that.
Black
But
Diamond and Afro Samurai.
I've not seen a lot of Boondocks, but
so much of Adult Swim is just like anime and making fun of anime and shit. And also people get mad. People get mad about like Ballmasters and Gamiseru being on Toonami because they're like
Those are anime ass shows, dude.
yeah, also like who gives a fuck? Also like Gendy, like Samurai Jack and Primal, which are very much just straight up Western shows.
yeah, those are just cartoons.
Yeah, those are like on Toonami all the time. Also, speaking of this, did you hear about Unicorn Warriors Eternal? You might find this
I
interesting.
don't know what that is.
So it's Gendy's new show, and Gendy Tartakovsky, because like Primal is done, I'm pretty sure. Like Primal's over. And so Gendy Tartakovsky's new show is about like it's like these warriors who kind of always get reincarnated. They have to like join up again in a new life to fight against like a new evil or something.
That's actually really cool.
It looks fucking incredible. It looks like Primal but like in like a fantasy type setting. And it's going to be a half-hour show. It was announced for Cartoon Network, but now it's going to be on Adult Swim.
Nice.
And they this is like a huge thing they did.
When is it coming out?
May 5th.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that comes out soon.
We gotta watch that.
Yes, I definitely want to watch that.
I'll watch it with you.
So it's called Unicorn Warriors Eternal, new Gendy show. They're doing like a huge new push on Adult Swim where they're now starting at 7 p.m.
Damn, really?
Yeah, they're
Well,
starting.
do you remember a little bit ago when we were worried it might be on its way out?
Yeah.
But that's really big news.
Yeah, so they're starting at 7 p.m. and they're
Holy shit!
Yeah,
dude,
dude.
that's so early.
they're moving Unicorn Warrior. They're moved Unicorn Warriors Eternal to Adult Swim, which is like I'm going to show you the trailer after this, Grayson. You're going to lose your fucking mind. It looks crazy. There's that, and also they announced a couple years ago for Cartoon Network. They're like, okay, we're going to make this half-hour show about Superman, but it's kind of like a workplace comedy about like Lois Lane and Clark Kent. That's going to be on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
now,
dude.
which sounds
that's cool.
fucking awesome. Like Adult Swim Superman show. Sign me the fuck
Have they ever
up.
had a superhero property on Adult Swim?
They've had Harley Quinn on there.
Was that on Adult Swim?
It was on. They aired it on Toonami, like on Marathon sometimes.
That's cool.
They've had like they air DC stuff a lot, but they've never had like an original DC.
Right, that's what I
thing.
meant, like an original DC, like Adult Swim show.
But I've always pushed for that because I've always thought that Cartoon Network gets to have their DC shit all the time, and I think Adult Swim should be able to explore that as well because it's part of like it's all part of the fucking Warner brand. So I think they should be able to explore that, and I'm really excited they're doing that. Also, I'm going to say it right now. Mark my fucking words. They're going to put Fiona and Cake on Adult Swim. That's what you know about Fiona and Cake, right?
Is that like happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fiona and Cake
Is it
like,
going to be like a whole full-fledged show?
Yeah, it's like an Adventure Time spinoff about. I don't know how this is gonna fucking happen. It's Fiona and Cake and like de-Ice Kinged Simon.
Huh.
But like
I still need to finish that show.
Fiona and Cake, I'm sure. Do you know what Fiona and Cake are?
I know that
It's the Ice King's fan fiction.
They're not
it's the
real.
cat, right?
Yeah, it's
And
like
the woman, Jake.
the girlfin.
That's not. Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
They're not real. It's the thing. They're a story. And so, but somehow, like the real Simon from the original Adventure Time canon is going to be there.
It's the merge.
dude.
I don't know.
It's the merge.
Yeah, it's the dimensional merge. I don't know how the fuck that show's gonna work. I'm super excited for it. Also, Clone High trailer came out today. I need to watch that
have you
still.
not seen it?
I haven't seen it because I dropped while I was at work.
We'll
and I
just
was
watch the
busy.
trailers after this.
Yeah, Clone High trailer dropped. They should put that on Adult Swim if they're going to be fucking starting at 7 p.m. But yeah, just crazy shit.
It's just more adult, isn't it?
Clone High?
Yeah.
Clone High is
They'll
very...
put it on Adult Swim.
No, because they didn't put like they didn't put like Close Enough on Adult Swim, which is another like adult
What
show.
they put it on?
HBO Max.
Oh, that
Yeah, straight to HBO
Sorry, I
Max.
thought you were talking to Cartoon Network versus Adult Swim. I was like, there's no way they're
No,
putting
I'm
Clone
talking
High
about
on
like
Cartoon Network.
HBO Max versus
Okay, I
Adult Swim.
understand now. Yeah. I keep forgetting because I don't do the streams. I don't like use streaming stuff that much unless it's like Hulu.
Yeah.
So I keep forgetting that like HBO Max and Adult Swim compete for shows even though they're owned by the same person.
Yeah.
Or company.
But another thing about
So stupid.
it is so bad. A couple more things about Fooly Cooley I want to get out is they do a really funny thing in the first episode where like the characters are all actors for like 2 seconds. They show like they show Haruko, Mamimi, and Naota in like a trailer, like a actor's trailer, just kind of like talking about the scene they have to shoot. And they do that once, and they do that. They never do that.
They
again.
do break the fourth wall all the time though.
They do break it. Yeah, they do break.
But
the
they don't
fourth
do
wall.
that specific setup.
Yeah, like Haruko looks at the camera when she thinks the satellite's going to destroy the Earth in episode 4, and she's like, "All you people at home, like sayonara, this is the end."
I can't remember what they said at the start of of episode 6, but they did the like
it was
the
the
same
manga
thing.
thing with like the
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Episode 1 has this fucking crazy scene where it just turns into manga. Like they have a really good contrast in that scene too, where it's like Naota softly walking down this hallway, this like beautiful hallway drawing, and it's like it's so dead silent. And the second he walks into that room, it explodes into like the manga and like the Pillows music, and they redo that in episode 6.
Yeah.
But it ends with like people carrying away the manga
Oh,
panels and like the dad talking about how it's too expensive to do manga.
Yeah, because it's like the same way. He like opens like the door and he's like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah. Let's see. I'm kind of like going through my notes here. We didn't talk about Conti that much. Conti is just kind of like he's just a good
Funny
boy.
robot, funny TV,
Yeah,
man.
funny robot.
funny TV boy.
He's kind of like he's Mamimi's god for a while. She worships him as a god.
Yeah.
Something that I didn't really notice until I saw, I think, on one of the AV Club recaps, is that in the first episode, Conti would have had the full power to channel Atomisk but like Haruko smashes the back of his head and he's trying to find pieces of it in episode 2. And if he had
that's
all,
what he was doing,
if
okay.
he had all those pieces, he would have been able to summon Atomisk immediately, which would have completed like Haruko's goals, but she kind of fucked it up by just like smashing him. Yeah, the show is also kind of like the show is like almost a YouTube poop sometimes.
Yeah, when Conti, they said they Naota asked Conti to go get like a drink.
Yeah, and
it literally jump cuts to like,
like,
him being
T-posing.
like 15 feet in the air,
Just
T-posing
T-posing
away.
away.
He's just T-posing and flying away. It's
And then
funny.
there's another one where Haruko's spinning the guitar around her neck and she just starts like flying into the air like a helicopter. And that's when I looked at Bryce. I was like, this is just a YouTube boo.
There's also like that scene where she's dressed up as like Elvis and talking about like
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine and stuff.
That was the same scene. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just
That was funny. That shit made me laugh.
just great shit like that. One of the more iconic images from this show is that like Mimi smoking the cigarette on it. It has "Never Knows Best" written on it. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
Probably a song lyric.
Good point.
I don't know. I have nothing to base that on. But
Yeah, but like yeah, probably.
I was trying to read what it said. I couldn't like make it. I saw that it had an N in it. That's pretty much it.
One of the reasons why I do think that Haruko does have like some sort of connection with Naota is there are some genuinely sweet scenes between them that I don't think she would be that sweet to him if she only cared about like the
You said Haruko?
yeah only
Yeah, the
cared-
way that she like embraces him sometimes is
yeah.
like
There's a great scene in the 3rd episode where she like tells him to have like a good day at school, and it's really sad because you know that like he doesn't have adults in his life that like tell him that.
I'm more of a pessimist. I don't view that as positively. I'd more view that as like a less innocent extension of the manipulation.
Well, I do. I mean, it probably is, but I think there's connection. I think there is. She does have some sort of connection to him because
I don't disagree with that.
I think she could have kept because she leaves him on Earth at the end. But I think if she really wanted to, she could have kept manipulating him. But I think she leaves him behind.
That's true. Because she does invite him and then she cuts herself off and says never mind.
Yeah.
So maybe fair enough.
I feel like she's more of a
you think if she was like truly manipulating him that she would be more upset that she didn't get to like merge with Atomisk?
yeah.
She's kind of like, oh, I gotta try again.
Yeah. She there's a really interesting setup in like fully in the 2nd season where because the people say like the sequels are like dog shit and you never need to watch them. I don't think that's true. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there.
I just hear that they're like more they're not as like they're more like forward facing.
Absolutely, they absolutely are. But I think there's
What do you mean by forward? Like less
symbolic.
abstract? Yeah.
There's still plenty of good shit in there. Like there's an arc. The 2nd season is about like Haruko gets split into 2 personalities. But there's like you don't find out that one of them is Haruko until like the last episode, and she just
Fucking spoilers.
and she's just like she looks nothing like her, and she's just like this like cop who's trying. I think she's like she's presented as like Haruko's like arch enemy, and then at the end, like and Haruko also has like orange hair throughout the thing instead of pink, and then at the end of the season, she like fucking absorbs her and turns back into like normal Haruko. It's crazy.
With the pink hair?
Yeah,
Is it season 2 or season 3 where it's just like they like because I remember on the Deep End podcast Matt was like. I forget which season he said, but they like kind of just drop all of the like symbolism for like sex, and it's just like it's like straight up just about sex.
Oh, Haruko does stuff where she's like a teacher in one of them, and she's like showing the kids like porn in class.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
But Haruko is that's not going to make my point. What I just said is not going to prove my point at all. But I think Haruko is a lot more like benevolent in the later seasons than she is in the first one because
I don't know if you can do 4 seasons of that.
yeah, she's more
She's a fucking monster.
in this one. She's a fucking monster. In the later two seasons, she definitely is more of like she's just like fucking Bugs Bunny.
Well, I was about to say, I remember the first time we watched this, you said like she's fucked up in season 1, and then after that, she's just like a god.
Yeah, she's just like Bugs Bunny. Like there's like each season gets a little apocalyptic, and I remember in like the 2nd or 3rd, they blend together so much. Like I know the individual plots, but like so many of the moments just blend together for me in those last 2 because I only watched those once.
Yeah.
But there's a great scene where like they all think they're gonna fucking die, and Haruko's like, "Nah, I don't die. We're gonna fix this." Like she's just like
That's crazy.
She just has
Totally.
that kind of confidence, which I love. But apparently one of the new Fooly Cooly scenes is gonna be about like Haruko and two office workers that are like falling in love, which I think is really interesting because I do like
It's turned into a fucking sitcom, yeah.
yeah, I do like the setup that every season of Fooly Cooly has Haruko with a completely different set of circumstances and people.
It's cool.
Like, obviously, the first one is the best one. You can never replicate that. But, like, the second one has the whole arc with, like, her having, like, a separate personality. And it's about, like, this girl and a guy she's interested in stuff. And the third one is all about, like, a group of female friends. And it's about female friendship, which is really interesting. It's something that,
There's
like...
not a lot of stuff that's about female friendship like that.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it. But yeah, do you guys got anything else to say about Fooly Cooly? We'll probably come back to it. We'll definitely do more of
No,
this.
yeah. I mean, if we watch the other two, we can probably do seasons 2 and 3 as an episode, and then
Yeah.
4 and 5 as they come out.
There's so much to talk about with this show. Like, we're always gonna want to come back to it.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I wish I would have seen it earlier.
me too. Like, I saw this.
I kind of agree. If I had saw this when I was in high school, it would have completely changed the
Well,
trajectory of my
what
life.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is like him and I were talking about it when we were in the car earlier. This is like for like people who are like in their 30s.
This
Like,
would have
people who saw this when they were 12.
this
Yeah.
would have gotten me really into anime.
Yeah, like I got into it in, like I said, January. I tried watching it in high school. I didn't get it, and I didn't really like it because I was a little. I wouldn't say I have shit taste because Venture Brothers is still my favorite show, so I obviously had like some taste, but like I didn't really get it when I watched it, and I was like, it's not Bebop. I like Bebop, but but like I watched this. I've been obsessed with it since January 1st when I watched it for the first time. But yeah, I really wish I saw this earlier. Great show. Do we have anything else? Grayson, got anything else?
Grayson, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think. Nah, brother, I think I'm good.
Got anything else?
Nah, I'm good. But this is a good show.
Yeah. You can
We gotta
follow.
do a couple boner checks.
Yeah, we had to do
No.
couple Haruko scenes of like the Blue Drives monster, and she had the fucking Playboy Bunny outfit on. Everybody
She had
to
the
do-
cakes out, you know what I'm
Everybody
saying?
had,
fuck up.
everybody had to do a boner check. So we're kidding.
We are professional. We sit there in silence and we watch
Yeah, we
these.
sit there in silence as we watch.
No jokes.
As we watch these two women groom this poor child. But so you can.
Wait, you didn't even do the cartoons for perverts joke.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's an amazing comic. It's like this guy walks up to like a movie theater and he's like, "Hey pal, you showing any cartoons for perverts?" And the kid at the counter is like, "I'm awful sorry, mister. Nobody makes cartoons for perverts." And he's like, "It ain't right. I'm gonna start my own studio making cartoons just for perverts. My name isn't Jeff Q Anime."
It does not apply to as many animes as you'd think. It definitely applies
here.
to this one.
Like I always say that Fooly Cooly is just like, oh yeah, cartoons for perverts.
That's how
Fooly-Cooly.
Bryce pitched this one to me
Yeah,
when he
it's-
was like, "Do you want to watch this one? It's cartoons for perverts."
But
I think a lot of anime is cartoon for perverts.
a lot of
Not
it
like
is.
this.
I mean, I don't know. You
No, dude.
You can even say
I
Bebop
swear.
is cartoon for
That's
perverts.
true.
There's a lot of Faye in there.
Come
But
on.
yeah, you can follow.
One Piece is cartoons for perverts.
That is also true.
Still, have never seen it. I do not know what that show's about. It's about monkey.
the One
You
Piece.
just type in One Piece girl in Google.
No, I'm all right.
Boner check. Straight boner check. Yeah.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at adult_swim_merch_archive. And you can follow us on Twitter at OwlsOnlyPod. You can follow me on Twitter on @MouseFitzgerald without the D. You guys want to plug anything or no?
Follow our Twitter. I'll plug our Twitter twice.
Yeah, follow our Twitter. Anything?
I ain't got no social media, yo.
All right. Well, see you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace off.